Hello and welcome to Printed. I'm Zach, and today I'm coming at you with a very simple idea and should be a very simple design and quick design process. So I will be designing a spool holder to hold this steel rod so that I can easily have 3 or 4, maybe 5 different filaments easily accessible that I can hot swap, well, not really hot swap, but quickly swap between different prints, and also kind of elevate those above the printer just to make it so that it's a little more streamlined getting down to the printer. I've only had this issue once, but the spool holder's on the back of the FlashForge Creator Pro. I use Hatchbox filament, and it's a little, the hole is too small? Yeah, the hole is too small for the standard spool holder that comes with the FlashForge Creator Pro, so I had to print off a specialized one. With that, I don't know if the design is a little bit off or what, but at one point in time, instead of this filament continuing going around the circle and going up through the tubing that's there, it actually got caught behind, in between the spool and the FlashForge Creator Pro itself, the 3D printer itself, and was tugging on the holder instead of making the spool filament go around. Long story short, it essentially made the filament stop feeding, and the print failed. And I wasn't really paying attention and didn't notice it for a couple hours later. And it was one of my dual extrusion prints. So yeah, it just was a completely failed print. And so this should help alleviate that, and should help, fine tune one of the only issues I've had with this printer for pretty much using it for about a year now. All right, so I now have the finished right and left pieces printed. As you can see here, the two holes in the back, it will mount through those to the wall. The screws, the holes themselves will essentially be pilot holes for the screws, and then you will drill into there. I have a rod that was just a leftover piece from our shop. Just grabbed it, didn't cut it, so it's a little longer than I originally planned, but it should work just fine. Then it slides down into that groove. It's a little tight. I had to actually shrink this to get it to fit on my printer. Didn't think of the length really when I was designing it. But as you can see, it slides down in there fairly easy. It'll be easier once these are actually mounted to the wall. And then it'll hold all your filament. So pretty simple design. Should work pretty good. And the greatest thing about it is it'll be modular in the regard that you can make that inner rod, that piece that's actually holding the filament, however long you want to have it to fit your your requirements. Whether you want to have just one, or you want to have 2 rolls of filament, or if you're gonna be like me and have 5 or 6 on there. I don't really have an issue with moisture with my filament. If that is an issue with your setup, you want to keep that in mind, because if you do leave a bunch of them on there at a time, they will be potentially exposed to the moisture and could potentially draw that. I primarily print in PLA, and I think that's a bigger issue in ABS. But I am going to experiment in the future with PVA, I believe it's called, the water soluble filament, and I know that's going to be very, you have to keep that very dry, of course, because it's water soluble. It'll be, I don't know if it'll work with the design. It might be something I just have to hot swap out at the very end of it or something. What I'll probably do is have my most used colors on the edge, because it will be somewhat of a pain to switch out having 5 or 6 of these on here. But I would probably just put my more used colors on the edge, so when I need to swap it out, I can do it a little bit easier. But the main thing is I switch colors quite often, primarily just have that for the design aspect and the appearance. And then, so I wanted the ability to quickly change the colors without having to completely, change out the back and so I can easily jump back and forth between colors between different prints. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to jump to the conclusion, and during the conclusion, I will have some footage of this actually being utilized. I'm getting ready to go hang it right now, and I'm going to throw some rolls of filaments, the ones I have opened right now. So we're going to go hang it and load up the filament and see if the design actually holds the weight that I want it to. Of course, it'll be something more of a time will tell thing. It might hold it right off the bat, but as it's being pulled against, it might have issues in the future. But I will update that in that regard too. I will also include the files for Thingiverse for the left and right, as well as a simple rod that you can actually just stretch on the vertical axis on your printer to make it be as long as you want it to. Like, especially if you have one like the Ultimaker Extended, the really tall ones, or a similar printer that has a really tall height axis, then you can utilize that to make the rod itself if you want to, or you can just go find one at Lowe's or something, and they have different types of steel rods. This is just a scrap piece from work that I had, which is why I'm using that longer piece, and I could have cut it down, of course, but I just figured I'd just leave it there, and I could put as many filaments on there at once as I really could ever think I would want on there, because I don't plan on putting ones I don't use very often. I'll probably keep those on the back of the my FlashForge Creator Pro, and only utilize those slots for the rare materials I don't use very often, and have this for the ones that primarily the colors and the filaments that I use on a regular basis. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, let me know that. Definitely interested in hearing any feedback in general. If you did like it, make sure you give it a like. I greatly appreciate that, and it helps the video in whole. If you didn't like it, go ahead and give it a dislike, but please leave a comment and let me know what you didn't like about this video, so that I can improve my content for the future. Also, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for more videos from Printed, and also hit that little bell icon. That'll let you be notified when I upload a new video. I'm going to try for a weekly upload with Printed, but a lot of my Printed projects are a little more in-depth in design, and I don't shoot everything I print, primarily just original content that I actually design completely. So I don't do everything that I make, but I do want to get more into some different projects, like artsy type stuff, I guess, in this series. So stay tuned for that kind of stuff, like more like prop type stuff for movies and games. So I'm going to have a lot of learning in that, but I just would like to have some cool things like that in the future. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, Zach out.